Hi, and welcome to my channel. My name is Amanda, and we are going to jump right into this first reading wrap up of the year. Now, I'm going to kind of go back and talk about the things that have happened in the channel over the last week, but I'm only going to talk about the books that I've finished since January 1st started because I've already talked about the other ones. Anyway, first of all, last week on the 29th, I had my journal flip through video that came out, and now I got this little tool for Christmas, and so this is going to make it much easier. I will clamp the end of this, let me show it to you, the end of this on the table, and it'll stand up, and I can actually film from the top down instead of having to try to adjust my other camera to try to get it to work. So anyway, all I'm saying is that flip through will be the last one where the camera angle is weird. Also, I had a video come out about the Gerbitathon. Now, I said in that video that I didn't know how to pronounce it, and then somebody in the Discord, actually the creator in the Discord, said, "Hey, how do you all say this?" And so what I found out was most people say Gerbit because it looks like gerbil. Also, she picked it because Gerbit is the language that the Sims speak. In their language, it's called Simlish, if you're weird like me and know this. And that word is llama in Simlish, is Gerbit. So anyway, that's why it's called that, the Gerbitathon. I had a video where I kind of introduce you to my family and all the things that I'm going to have to do throughout the year with each one of the members of the family for the reading challenge. So if you missed that somehow, I will make sure I link that below where you can go check out the Discord and her video where she talks about introducing it. And then I'm going to plan to do a monthly update, just where my family is and how they're all doing in their challenge. Then the last video that came out on my channel was my December wrap up. And I used the new discussion format to talk about it, which was just like literally looking at the titles, the covers of all the books I read in December and talking about them as I went through them. So let me know what you think about that format, what you thought about that format as you were watching it. So let's talk about what I've finished. Since January 1st, I have finished 3 books, and I've decided that's too many. I'm going to start slowing down. I do this every year as I get really excited about January 1st coming, and then it gets here and I jump right into everything and I do nothing but read. And then I'm like, why am I doing this? It's not a competition. It's not a race. There's nothing happening. Clearly, Skeeter is having some sneezing problems. I'm slowing down, but let's talk about the ones that I finished. The first book that I read in the new year is The Night She Disappeared by Lisa Jewell. This was one of the ones that I rolled in my TBR game, and you will see the vlog about me reading this coming up in a few days, but I did do a vlog about the first book of the year that I was reading. Here is Django with his Christmas sweater still on his body. So I can't link it below because it's not live yet, but you'll see it coming up and I'll share my thoughts on this book. But I did finish this one this week and I gave it 5 stars. Then the second book that I finished, also from my TBR game, is Final Cut by S.J. Watson. This book, first of all, it has those beveled like edges. I don't think that's the right word for them, but the rough edges. I know that some people said they did not like those. They don't bother me one way or the other. I don't guess I have an opinion about them, but I really liked this book too. Reading these two back to back might not have been the best idea because they're so similar to each other. They both revolve around women who are trying to solve something and we are left in the dark and we don't know what's going on. So The Night She Disappeared is clearly about someone disappearing, and this Final Cut is kind of also about someone disappearing. Now, Final Cut definitely has an unreliable narrator. If that is something that you like, add that book to your list. I gave it 4 stars. I thought that it was really well done. The characters were really good. We did follow one point of view, but it was dual timeline with that one point of view. So that's not the same as The Night She Disappeared. We follow 3 different people in 3 different timelines on that one. But they were both good as far as keeping me guessing. With Final Cut, I kind of saw where we were going, but I was still unsure. Like I knew a couple of possibilities that it could be, but I was wrong about the killer. in my final guess, and I was right about something else, another twist that happened in my guess as well. So the other book that I finished was Concealed in Death. This is my first in death book of the year, and this book was horrible. 12 girls have been killed and put into a wall. Now, that's not a spoiler. I made sure the description of this book says that in the first little sentence. So Rourke has bought a house. No, not a house. Rourke has bought a building of some kind that he is planning to turn into something. And he goes there like symbolically to make the first sledgehammer hit on it to like start the demo of the building or the renovation. And when he does that, they discover bodies behind the wall. And eventually there are 12 of them. And this was really cool to get to see the people who are also at the police station, like that work just with the bones. Or there was one lady that was an artist and she was doing like facial rendering, like what they would have looked like based on the bones, because that's all they had at this point. And so it was really interesting, and I like that we got to see new people. It is coming up on Christmas. I think the next book actually takes place during Christmas. So there was all of that prep and them getting ready for Christmas, and Dallas dealing with the fact that she has to buy gifts for people for Christmas like she always does. So anyway, this was book number 38, and I'm done. Moving on to the next one. Now, as far as what I am currently reading, the only one I have in my possession is Game of Thrones. Now you can see that there are tabs in here. I have also started blogging about this over on the Page Chewing blog. So I will make sure that I get that link and share it down below. But I still haven't decided how I want to talk about this, but anyway, I'm 107 pages in right now, and I'm just slowly making my way through. I am going to try to do about 100 pages a week, but again, it's not something that I'm forcing myself to do. I really want to take my time and know who everybody is and how they all relate, which is why I have all the tabs in here, is because I'm color coordinating based on families. So that's my color coding system. The others that I'm currently reading Tress of the Emerald Sea by Brandon Sanderson. This one was not on my radar at all. I mean, how did I forget about the Kickstarter? I don't know, but I did. I did not talk about it in my TBR. I didn't even think about it in my TBR. But then it popped up and I was like, oh, I have to start reading this book. So the great thing about this book is that the chapters are so super short, and I have it on ebook. So I am just sitting down for 20 or 30 minutes and reading as many chapters as I can in that time, and then I go on to something else. So this one again is going to be slow. I'm not trying to rush through it. I'm just going as slow as I want to go. The next book that I am currently reading is Amari and the Great Game. I almost said Amari and the Night Brothers, but that was book number 1. This is book number 2 in this series, and as far as they've gotten so far. So I'm going to be all caught up when I finish reading this, but I love this so much. I have it on Scribd, so I'm listening to it on Scribd, and that is my audiobook that I have going right now. Then finally, the other book that I'm reading is Assassin's Apprentice by Robin Hobb. Now, I read this book last year, at the beginning of last year, and the only reason that I'm rereading it, when I usually don't reread books, is that Andrew and I are reading all Robin Hobb all year. So I am going back. We're starting with this book, even though we've both read it, but it's been about a year for both of us. And so we want to have like a refresher of this book. So we are slowly going through it. We literally read one chapter so far of this book. So we're going to slowly make our way through all of Robin Hobb's trilogies. She seems to have series of trilogies. And so I will talk about those as we finish a trilogy, probably. I mean, I'm sure I'll talk about the books as we read them too, but maybe a trilogy as a whole we might do. I might even see, Andrew doesn't really post on his channel anymore, but I might see if he wants to come on a live stream and we can have a discussion about it. I don't know. You guys tell me what you would be interested in. I just think it would be fun to talk about it with lots of people. I know there are lots of people who love Robin Hobb. So that is what I am currently reading. Okay, I already talked a little bit about what's next because the next In Death book is Festive in Death, and it clearly is going to revolve around Christmas. I have no idea what happens. I haven't read the plot. I never do. So I just know that it's got Dallas and Rourke and all of the people around them, and they're going to be celebrating Christmas. When I finish reading Amari and the Night Brothers, I will be going back to my TBR books from my game because I still have 3 left, and I will be choosing one of those. So I might put up a poll here on YouTube and let you guys vote on which one I do next. The way I ended up reading the ones I read was because I did the death roll thing. And so maybe I'll put that as an option, and you guys could vote for either any of the books or for me to do a death roll for them. So I'll see. But when this video comes up, there will probably also be very soon afterwards a poll in the community tab where you guys can go vote on which one of them I start next. So I'll talk about that next week, whatever happens with that. So we're going to end this with doing a small book haul. And I thought it was going to be small because I only had 3 books to talk about. And then before I filmed this, I went and checked the mail and I got 4 more books in the mail. So it's going to be a little bit longer than I had intended it to be, but that's okay. This won't take too long. Okay, so we're going to talk about this in the pre-order and the ones I bought for myself first. So I know we said in my game, if you watch me play the game, I got to go shop for a book. And so I took the kids and we went and walked around Barnes & Noble, Books A Million, for quite a while trying to find a book that I wanted to get. And since I read the majority of my books on audio, I wanted to pick one in physical form that would make me read it physically. And so I got House of Leaves by Mark Danielewski. I just made that up. So I will figure out how to pronounce it before I finish it. But this is the spine of it. I think it is so cool. If you have heard about this book, a lot of people were talking about it last year. Apparently, here's just one page that has this weirdness on it. I was flipping through it to show here we go, to show one of my kids, and it has this is what this page looks like. So it is definitely a non-traditional book, and I want to read it physically. So I picked up a copy. This is what I got for my game in the you get to buy a book roll that I rolled. Now I had pre-ordered the novella collection from Allie Hazelwood. I've not read these. All 3 of them were released last year separately. And then January, this book just came out. And so I had pre-ordered it and it came today, actually, in the mail. So I am going to be picking these up probably randomly throughout the year. So I'll just let you know as I get to them. Then we have my Book of the Month book, All the Dangerous Things. Now, I just need to tell y'all, I went on NetGalley and this audio book was on NetGalley, and I was like, well, I have the physical copy. I'm just going to ask for it. And I got it. I was approved for this audio. So I'm going to do it in audio and physical like I did with the others, and we'll just see how it goes. But this book I'm really excited about. Also, it debuts this year. This is when it comes out. So normally I don't read books that come out in 2023 or come out the year that I'm reading them, but this does. So this counts as my new release for the month that I'm going to be reading. I guess we could count these as a gift and a buy for myself because I got a gift card for Christmas and I used it to buy the first 3 books in the Wayward Children series. I only have 2 of them here because the 3rd one just hasn't gotten here yet. And I think I might have 1 and 3. I don't know. I don't know the order that they're in, but I know that I bought the first 3 books. And so 2 of them are here and 1 of them is still on its way. But I am excited to get into this series, even more excited now that I see how short these books are. I thought they were longer than this, so I'm very happy about that. More gifts. I do not have this one in my possession, but Fina got me Heartstopper Volume 1. And she got it for me before Christmas, but my Amazon wish list still had my parents' address on it from when we were moving. And so my parents got to open it, but my dad was like, here it is. And so he opened it up for me and showed it to me. And that was fantastic. So I'm going to get it in a couple of weeks. I think when I see them, I'll get it. But I got Volume 2 in the mail today from Amy at A-Star Reads. She saw that I had Volume 1 already, and so she got me Volume 2. And I cannot wait to get Volume 1 here so I can start reading them both. Finally, the last gift that I got was from my son, and he got me this James Patterson and J.D. Barker, The Coast to Coast Murders. So I used to read James Patterson a long time ago, and it's been a while since I've read any of his, and so I am excited to check out this James Patterson book and see if I still like his writing as much as I used to. That is everything I finished, everything I'm currently reading, and everything that I just got in my house to add to my shelves. I hope that you guys had a great New Year's, and I hope that you have a great week coming up, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.